What it do, man? It's 420 Boxing Network. You already know what it is. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it, man. But before I get into it, I just want to let y'all know what's the strain of the day real quick. I'm smoking on black cherry pie. This is a pre-roll from the Cure Company. There's 26% THC. You know what I mean? But anyways, Teofimo Lopez, man. The disappointment of the year. Yeah, let's be real. Teofimo Lopez is the disappointment of the year. And I don't mean just as a fighter or just what he did in the ring this past Saturday. I'm talking about overall. Because if you look at it, well, if you ask me, I didn't like what Teofimo did in the lead up to the fight. I didn't like what he did during the fight. I don't like what he did after the fight. So he disappointed me all three ways. You know, once he became champion and he beat Lomachenko, I think he thought he was Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao or somebody. You know, it kind of reminds me of the guy in the hood who, you know, he get his taxes or he come up on a lick, he buy a watch, he buy some clothes, and all of a sudden he on top of the world. You know what I mean? That's how I look at Teofimo Lopez. You beat Lomachenko by one round, and then all of a sudden you on top of the world. You feel like you could talk down to Devin Haney's of the world. You could talk down to the George Kabosos of the world. But we all know that that's not the case. When you start thinking like that, that's when you get exposed. When you start believing the false narratives that they put in front of you. Because that's what happened. Teofimo started running with his own narrative that he's undisputed. And you're not. And we all know it. You can't fool the boxing fans. We're knowledgeable. If you remember, Teofimo, he goes next to Canelo while Canelo was winning his undisputed belt. Teofimo pulls up right beside him. He's in training camp for another fight. He has a fight planned already. But he's up there taking pictures with Canelo with all the belts as if he's on Canelo. He's trying to buddy hustle off of Canelo. See, that lets me know that he's in it for the fame. That lets me know that he's not really in it for what you really need to be in it for. And that's to prove you're the best. You can't play boxing. Everybody knows if you get into boxing for the money or the fame, you're in the wrong sport. And you're going to get a rude awakening. That's what happened to Teofimo Lopez. Pardon me. He thought he was going to go in there and wipe George Kabosos out. He thought that this is going to be easy work. All he has to do is go in there. He thought that Kabosos was easy pickings for him. And he was sadly mistaken. Because once I seen that this fight was booked, I looked at their styles. And I remember when I first saw it, because I didn't know who George Kabosos was. But when I looked back and I looked at his style, and I said, oh, hold on. He can beat Teofimo Lopez. Immediately what I said when I seen him. I said, hold on, let me look a little closer. But we all knew that. And I think the fans knew this too. I don't want to seem like I'm Nostradamus with this one because I feel like the fans knew this too. They knew that an upset could be coming in here because they seen Teofimo's lack of dedication for this fight. They seen the lack of respect he showed Kabosos. But the only thing was, we seen that Kaboso leave his hands down. We seen that. He does that a lot. he makes mistakes. Kabosos is a C-level fighter. But we still knew that he was capable of beating Teofimo because of the style. They basically fight the same, except for Teo's is a little bit more athletic. He's a little bit faster. He's a little bit more stronger. He has those fast, twitchy reflexes. You know what I mean? That Kaboso doesn't have. But that doesn't mean you're going to win the fight. I keep telling y'all, skills pays the bills. When your mentality meets skill set, you got action at anybody. In this sport. So that was the case in this fight. Teofimo lost this fight because everything that was happening outside of the ring, he let deter him. And that's because he's weak-minded. Teofimo is not very strong-minded. And you can see it in the press conference, when he had the press conference with Kabosos, where he was getting out of character.
I let you talk. Shut the fuck up.
Just like you were ready to kill
anyway, so I say it like this. Sit down, be humble. I'm going to be like this, all right? Shut the fuck up. And look, man.
We seen it when Devin Haney ran down on him.
Each other early.
And afterwards, walk away with the belts. Afterwards, walk away with the belts. You're going to hold my nuts afterwards.
Start talking ridiculous. You're going to hold my nuts after the fight. No man talks like that. That shows immaturity level. All this is things that we seen, and it played out in a fight. Comes out first round. Teofimo get dropped first round.
Is to get into a firefight with his opponent.
Oh, what a right hand from George kabosos, and the takeover went down.
He got his hands down, just like Kabosos. They fight the same style. Teofimo just can get away with a little bit more because he's more athletic. His reflexes is a little bit better. But the first round comes out. He catches Kaboso. He thinks Kabosos is hurt. He's walking down with his hands down. Boom, he get dropped. That's a rookie mistake. You walk into your opponent with your hands down as if you're not bothered. You unbothered. No, you better put your hands up and protect yourself. This is not a game. That man behind you, that man across the ring from you is a professional fighter. And he's undefeated. He don't like to lose. So the first round, Kabosos dropped him. I think that really took something out of Teofimo. Once he realized in the first round, I just got dropped by George Kabosos. I've been talking all this shit before the fight. We really don't like each other. Kabosos been telling him how he's going to beat Teofimo, how he's going to destroy Teofimo. Teofimo didn't like that. Now you get dropped by him in the first round, his confidence was gone. Even though, yeah, I know what happened. Teofimo ended up dropping him late in the 10th round. But you gotta realize what was happening after that. After the first round, you know, it was a couple swing rounds, second and third, you know, whatever, he might have got that. But every round after that, it was all Kabosos. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And his dad, Teofimo Sr., he's probably the worst coach in all of boxing. He's probably the worst trainer in all of boxing. I hate him as a trainer. Not as a person, I don't know him. But as a trainer, I dislike him. I hate him. Oh my God. He doesn't give his son any instructions.
Son, watch yourself. That's why I said, time, take your time. Bro, the right hand is working. Finish him already. What the fuck is going on?
It's okay. Calm down.
All right, just relax.
Calm down.
That was all balance. It was all balance. That wasn't a hard shot. It was all balance. It didn't even hurt
That
you,
wasn't
right?
off balance like Senior's telling Junior. That was a big right hand.
Jab, 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 jab. And hit him wherever you want. Here, or here. Come on, wake up.
You know what I mean? That's not going to work. You got to tell him what he's doing wrong and to make sure he doesn't do it again. I think that, see, when Teofimo Lopez got the knockdown in the 10th round, it wasn't because his coach told him what he needed to do to go get the knockdown. It wasn't because, oh, he believed he was down and he needed to come get the knockout like Terrence Crawford did. No, it wasn't that. It was because Kabosos simply is a C-plus fighter. They make mistakes. Kabosos is up big on the cards in the 10th round, but he's slugging with Teofimo because he doesn't like him and because he's not that good of a fighter. He's good, but he's not great. He's a C-level fighter. So he's making mistakes. He's brawling with the champion in the 10th round while he's up big. Nobody does that. But he did it. He got dropped. He got back up and won the 11th and 12th round. That shows me something about Kabosos. I respect him a lot, tremendously. I respect Kabosos tremendously because for him to get up in that 10th round and win 11th and 12th, that's big cojones. It showed me the hunger, the desire. That hunger and desire that Teofimo didn't have. He was outworked in this fight. Teofimo was exposed, beaten up, and outworked in this fight. And Kabosos did more than win the fight. He took his confidence from him. He took Teofimo's confidence from him. That's why you seen after the fight, he was acting bizarre. Teofimo was acting crazy. That's because his confidence was broken. When you go up there talking about, oh, I won 11 to 2. 11 rounds to 2. And there's only 12 rounds in a fight. And then you try to clean it up. Yeah, you talking crazy because your confidence is gone. I beat that boy. I won this fight. I won this fight. You can see the hurt and the pain on his face and in his heart and in his spirit and in his soul. You can see it. It hurt him. This loss really, really hurt him. He's up there praying to God. And see, what I didn't like about it was he did an Adrian Bronner after the fight. You did an Adrian Bronner. You know what I mean? You didn't want to give full credit to your opponent for winning the fight. You didn't want to accept your loss fair and square as a man. And you do all that talking. You do all that talking in the lead up and the build up to the fight. But then when you lose, you want to say you really won when you know you lost. I think we have to put Teofimo in the same category as we put a Adrian Bronner and as we put a Deontay Wilder. We have to put them all in the same category. Them are guys who can't accept losses. Those are guys who believe in false narratives that's put upon them. That's what these guys are. See, my thing is in boxing, one of my main things that I was attracted to in boxing, it wasn't just the punches and all that. I was so amazed about how two guys can fight for 12 rounds, 3 minutes a round. And I mean mean guys who hate each other. A lot of these guys hated each other. And they fought 12 rounds. Some even fought 15 rounds. And after the fight, they go and shake each other's hands and say, good fight, man. We put on a hell of a fight. We made it to 12 rounds. I was always amazed by that. Like, how could they? Because that's something I don't know if I can do. I know they say, oh, you know, once you fight a guy, you gain respect for him. And man, listen, man. Man, I just fought you for 12 rounds. Man, listen. You feel me? So, I always admired that about fighters. That's what make fighters professionals. That's the difference between fighting in the street and being paid to do it. If I'm paying you to do it, I'm paying you to act a certain way. I'm paying you to be a professional. Teofimo was unprofessional. And I'm putting it lightly. He acted a damn fool. Teofimo acted a damn fool after that fight. And we all need to let him know that this is not how you behave after a loss, especially when you are a champion. This is not the way champions behave. Not in our sport, not the sport that we love. And the sad thing about it is, I don't even know where you go from here, Teofimo Lopez. I don't even know where you go from here. You don't have a rematch clause against Kabosos. Rookie mistake. Bad negotiating, bad promotion. George Kabosos is looking to fight Devin Haney, the real 135 WBC champion. Tank Davis is not interested in fighting you anymore. A lot of guys is not interested in fighting you anymore because of the way you acted once you became champion.